With the Tab S9 series just around the corner, there is no better time than to revisit the king of Android tablets, or even just the king of tablets in general, the Tab S8 Ultra. I have had mine since the beginning and known about it even longer than that, so I'm best positioned to give you everything you need to know. Well, let's go. This video is sponsored by Chubby Cable. Welcome back everybody to Tech with Benefits, Daniel here. This review is going to be broken off into 4 parts. First, I want to explore a little bit about my personal usage, just to give you a bit of context as to where this information and this review is coming from. Then we're going to dive into the actual productivity features that I've utilized, and even some that I haven't, but I know exist, that you could take advantage of, even with this tablet being over 1.5 years old by now. There's also a lot to talk about when it comes to media and entertainment consumption, because this thing is perfectly positioned for that type of stuff. And then of course, we'll wrap it up, and I want to answer the question, with the Tab S9 coming out, should you just get this instead? We're going to start with my usage. Now, it's a really difficult thing to quantify, purely because I have everything. I have the S23 Ultra, I have the Tab S8 Ultra, I have a Samsung laptop, I have the Galaxy Watch, I have the Galaxy Buds, I have every little bit of Samsung device you could think of. I had the Fold and the Flip for a period of time before I had to give them back. I know what it's like to use the entire ecosystem. So it can be really hard for me, or at least it was, to find out where a tablet actually fit and slot it into my daily use case. Because I have so much access to different devices to do lots of things on, sometimes it's not necessary for me to pick up a tablet to work on when I have things like the Fold or the S23 Ultra to do it from instead. When I heard about the Tab S8 Ultra, I was all in. A massive 14.6-inch display that gave you incredible aspect ratio for content consumption as well as productivity. Plus I saw it had a full-size keyboard available with it. I was sold. I absolutely was all in from day one, even before day one, because I knew about it before. I was a little bothered by the notch, at least the prospect of the notch, but I'll get to that a little bit later. When I reflect back on my Tab S7 Plus usage, it was mainly for content consumption. The screen was big, don't get me wrong, like 12.4 inches is a good size for a tablet. So I was utilizing it mainly for video purposes, whether that be watching sports, whether that be watching movies or TV shows. That was really what I was doing with it. Occasionally I'd whip the S Pen out, but it was very, very light if I needed to. The Ultra though, well, that started to give me a whole nother use case. When I first picked it up, I immediately decided to get the keyboard cover. I was not going to walk around with this thing without it. Yes, it was expensive, and we'll get to the keyboard cover in a little bit, but I just saw it as a necessity to complete the Tab S8 Ultra experience for me. Especially with the screen being as big as it was, I would have felt it was a waste of time to not have it. So naturally, I got it alongside with it. So let's get on to the device now. How have I used it myself over the last 18 months? The thing I really liked is at the time of purchase, my wife and I were in the really early planning stages of starting a podcast together. We actually did launch it. It's called The Parent Sesh. We've taken a break from it at the moment, but when we were in the heavy planning stage, the Tab S8 Ultra was an absolute dream. Because of the S Pen in particular, I was able to sit down on the couch. We would have our planning sessions. We designed our logo through using the S Pen in Samsung Notes. We wrote plans for content all through the Tab S8 Ultra. And when we needed to, I chucked the keyboard case on, we sat on the table and we'd type away as well. What we also really loved using it for was during recording of episodes. It was a really great tablet to showcase the run sheet and the notes of the episode in front of us, so we would keep ourselves on track. And being that it was so big, we wouldn't necessarily need 2 devices to handle that. We could do it all from the one. Later on last year as well, I also actually picked up a bit of a side gig hosting trivia at pubs and restaurants and breweries. Something I really enjoyed doing, being in front of 150, 200 people, talking rubbish for the night, asking them questions, and then ultimately awarding a winner. So the Tab S8 Ultra for me was the perfect device to do my scoring through, especially as the company I work for set up this Google Sheet document that had all this scoring system in place. All I need to do was set it up on a table and I had my tablet and my keyboard ready to go. I remember trying to use the Chromebook that they actually had provided me in their little box, and I couldn't believe it was that slow. I just thought they would work fine, but no. No. Tab S8 Ultra works flawlessly for me for this purpose. And with the device being, I guess, so capable, I really enjoy the multitasking capabilities that it has, which is I can have the answers on one side, the scoring on the other, and away I go. And now I've started this YouTube channel. This device gives me exceptional feature set for that purpose as well. In fact, as I'm talking to you, there's actually the Tab S8 Ultra with the Rode app recording, the notes I'm using to talk are on the right hand side. So as you can see, there's my microphone. I have all of that set up, ready to go for this purpose. Honestly, this feels like a laptop to me in a lot of ways. And whilst the keyboard cover isn't everyone's favorite, if you use it as it's intended, which is on a flat surface, you'll actually really enjoy it. But I'll get to that. As a productivity machine, there's a lot of things about this that I really love using. To kick things off, I relied heavily last year in my job that I used to be at on my laptop. Just purely because the security services on the laptop itself meant that content was too hard to get off and work on other devices. I had to do it all through there. That's fine. I appreciate that that's what the company wanted to do. However, what I really liked about the Tab S8 Ultra was I actually got to use it as a secondary display. Now this was the days before I had an Espresso Display, which is basically what I use now. But what I liked about the Tab S8 Ultra then was that I had a second monitor wherever I wanted to go in the house. I could set up on the dining table and I had my second monitor, and being wireless, it would be a really good solution for me. The thing you can really do with it too is if you have a keyboard and mouse attached to your tablet like I do, you can actually use that keyboard and mouse to control your laptop as well. So if you wanted the Tab S8 Ultra to be your main screen and your laptop be your secondary display, as long as you've got your keyboard and mouse hooked up, you can control everything from there. It even supports touch and pen input too. So if the S Pen and you wanted to use the Windows version of Samsung Notes, you can draw on the display. The latency is not quite as good. There is two options when you are launching second screen that you can click on. One of them is for video and one of them is for drawing input. I honestly didn't notice much of a discernible difference between the two. So unless you notice it, all power to you. But myself personally, I couldn't really see it. Now, obviously, if you just need a second screen, I would not recommend just getting the Tab S8 Ultra. The Espresso Display is a perfectly capable secondary display that also supports touch input and comes with a pen. So that could be your option. However, if you're looking for more of a device that you can work away from your home with, and you don't want to always have to carry a laptop, the Tab S8 Ultra would be a really good option. I'm a very different sort of use case for productivity. Someone else who loves his Tab S8 Ultra is Alex from Alex Gear and Tech. He's kind enough to help me out and let me know what he loves about productivity with his. Take it away, Alex.
Hey Daniel, as you know, I love my Tab S8 Ultra, and for the last, I don't know, almost year and a half now, it's been my go-to tablet for work. I do some relaxing and watching content from time to time, but really what I use this tablet the most for is getting stuff done. I'm an IT consultant during the day, from 9 to 5 anyway, and as part of my work I have to sometimes explain complex designs in simple ways. So I actually start, all the sketching that I do for my architectural drawings using the Tab S8 Ultra. I use this app called Concept, which is brilliant, but really what brings it to life for me is obviously the large display. This size is perfect for that sort of thing, but also using it with the S Pen. The S Pen, I don't know, there's something about it that feels way better than any other pen that I've tried. I have the same app on iPadOS, and it's nowhere near as nice. Some of my clients require me to use Microsoft Office as well, so rather than faffing with licenses on the Mac and things like that, I just use Office on Samsung DeX. I have DeX on my S23 Ultra and on my Fold 4 here, but on the Tab S8 Ultra is really where I make the most out of DeX. To have this level of multitasking is awesome. It makes a big difference for me on a day-to-day basis. I think with the Tab S8 Ultra, we really get our money's worth, I'm a big fan of this tablet and I can't wait for Tab S9 Ultra now. Daniel, thanks for having me and see you soon.
Thanks, Alex. He's a big supporter of the channel. Thank you very much. Check out his Tab S8 Ultra review for a guest appearance from someone as well when his launches. The other side to the Tab S8 Ultra is that when I am working, I can leave my phone on the desk. I don't have to touch it or think about touching it because Samsung has some impressive connectivity features that pair the two devices together. Where I really appreciate what they've done here is they've come up with a feature that I begrudgingly have to call and text on other devices. They had a much snappier name for it when it launched, and I can't remember what it is now because it's been overtaken by call and text on other devices. They really could have put some more effort into that. And basically it just works as it's described. Maybe that's why they did it, for obvious reasons. You get a phone call on your phone on your phone. How about that? You get a call on your phone, it comes through on your tablet, you can answer it on there. You can even pull it back and forth between the two devices. So if you needed to swap and walk away from your desk or wherever you're working, pick up your phone, pull the call, it does it instantly. Messages, same sort of thing. It comes through and you can respond keyboard and mouse. The other aspect to pairing these two devices together is the fact that you can use your keyboard from your tablet onto your phone as well. Once you set it up, hit Command plus the language/keyboard key, and it will then shift the keyboard to the phone screen. So your mouse and your keyboard can completely operate the phone independently of the tablet. Of course, that is the strength of the Samsung ecosystem, is that it fits in with the other devices that you own. Whether that be through using QuickShare, which I use religiously from phone to tablet, and even from tablet back to phone. It's a really great experience. Right down to Samsung's OneDrive partnership, which a lot of people probably don't even know about, because you can actually back everything up to OneDrive from your phone and from your tablet, and all the albums will sync in your Samsung gallery. So not only does it house in Microsoft's OneDrive service, but it also organizes it in the albums that you've created in your Samsung gallery on your other Samsung devices as well. It's also down to the fact that app continuity exists as well. So if I'm working on a Samsung Notes file on my phone and I want to take it to the big screen, if it's open on my phone screen, got the recent apps menu open on the tablet, you'll see in the top part of the screen is open Note from Daniel's S23 Ultra. Bang, you click on that and it launches the note on your tablet. Super quick, and everything's there ready for you to continue working. This also works with internet websites. So if you wanted to jump from an internet browser on your phone, open on your tablet, you got it on the bigger screen as well. I have done a full Samsung Notes video, and right at the end of that video, there is a section where I talk about how the tablet and the phone connect to each other when it comes to auto syncing and the palette, as I called it eventually. Now this thing has an S Pen. I forgot. I think part of it is due to because it's not in my face. It hides in the back in the little section magnetized and underneath the cover. So it's a forcible action. I have to clip it and unclip it to actually get it to work. However, when I have used it, it is such a good S Pen. Like, it is superb. I do like writing things down. So it's not as if I actively am avoiding using it. Because I have the S23 Ultra with S Pen, it's a much more natural thing for me to do, to use that S Pen that's in my pocket. So I just have to consciously remember that it's there, because when I use it, it actually serves a really great purpose. I've got a full video on the S Pen from the S23 Ultra, and a lot of the features are very similar, so go watch that one as well. Now, as the 18 months has progressed, Samsung has introduced new software to enhance the experience again. And one of those features that they've brought in is the taskbar. Now, this is borrowed from the Z Fold 4, and I don't mind that they did that at all, because it really does transform your normal mode in the Tab S8 Ultra to actually even be more productive than it was before. Because you have that taskbar running along the bottom, it's almost kind of like Dex mode, and it's actually made me use Dex a lot less. Because before that, I was using Dex all the time, but since that came in, I found myself not needing to use Dex as much, because a lot of what I do on this tablet can be launched straight from the taskbar. And because you can still have multiple windows open anyway, haven't really felt the need for it. But the taskbar is absolutely my go-to for launching apps on this thing. It is superb. The other parts of productivity is the keyboard. I am completely aware that people don't like this keyboard, and that's okay. Each to their own. Obviously, a lot of people that complain about the keyboard, they use a lot of keyboards. So for them, they know they like this part from this keyboard, they like this one from that one, they don't like this, they don't like that. Ultimately, they want the keyboard that's perfect. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist. Every keyboard's going to have a little bit of a downside. The Tab S8 Ultra is one of those. However, if you focus on the positives and you use it for its intended purpose, you will get great joy out of it. I actually really enjoy typing on it. In fact, I will find excuses to set myself up on a table so I can type on this keyboard. The travel is kind of nice. Like, I have a mechanical keyboard, so I know what typing should feel like. But I actually don't mind the offering that's on here. I actually kind of really enjoy it. It's also backlit and has multiple levels of backlight. I often work in dimmer environments, particularly at trivia. So having the keyboard be backlit is a real easy to use operation. Wow, this isn't surgery. But it's a full-size keyboard on the Tab S8 Ultra, so it has all the functionality you could want. All the shortcuts are there, all of the keys that do different things, like snapping things to left and right, up and down. That's all there, all existing. Your function row is there as well, and the FN key to activate any of those functions also exists. You've got shortcuts to launch different apps up the top. It's a really comprehensive keyboard, and one I really enjoy using. What I really like about it more, though, is the fact it's detachable. So it's a two-part case. So the back cover can actually stay up without the keyboard, which means that if I'm using it for entertainment, which I'll get to in a moment, I have a much more sleeker package to cart around wherever it is that I'm carrying this thing. Now, I'm not going to cover Samsung Dex in this video specifically. You can go back and watch last week's video where I covered Dex in its entirety. Alex definitely touched on his usage when it comes to Dex with the Tab S8 Ultra as well in this video already. With all this stuff I'm doing with it, You think I might struggle with battery, but honestly, the battery capacity of 11,200 it's just incredible. The fact they've fit something like that into this thin, crazy light package has been one of the most impressive feats they've done in years. And I really wish people would talk about it more, but I've had incredible battery life from this. I could constantly think that I'm pushing this thing and see that the battery's just been sipping away, and I've very rarely found that I've gone really low with the battery or killed it. And of course, it has 45-watt fast charging. And again, I know it's not fast charging anymore. It is for me. I honestly, I appreciate it. It's enough. It does everything I need it to. Chubby Cable sent me out a care package full of fun, functional, and premium charging and data cables. These cables are fun in design and functional both at the same time. I received 5 cables that arrived with a combination of carry cases and hard shell storage cases. Let's check out what I got. Starting with what they call the Neon Chubby in orange. This arrived in a hard shell storage case, which is great. This cable is a USB A to C thick boy. It is a fast charge cable with max 100 watt speed that features a smart light with changing RGB colors. Kinda neat. Its extra thickness makes it extra durable and has been tested to withstand up to 10,000 bends. It has a nice soft to touch silicone feel which makes it virtually tangle free and easy to store away. Next cable up is the Color Block Chubby Spring Charge cable. Arriving in its felt feeling carry case, this cable I received is a USB A to C max charging speed of 100 watt spiral braided thick cable. Its spiral design will prevent tangles and make it the perfect charging cable for your mechanical keyboard or even in your car as an Android Auto cable. It won't take up space in your car, but will still allow your passengers to grab for their phone from the comfort of their seat. Up next, we have the Rainbow Chubby. This colorful rainbow filled cable is made from an extra durable braided material that can withstand 25,000 bends. It can do this due to its super reinforced coil inside. With another max speed of 100 watts, this cable will suit the most demanding of tasks and live to tell the tale. Use it as your super fast charging cable, data transfer for your laptop, or just about anything, and do it with a bit of color. Next up, we have the Cute Chubby. Ideal for power banks or even for Android Auto, this thick cable will be the perfect length for cable needs that don't need too much distance, making it inobtrusive and keeping it out of the way. It can go up to 120 watts using high power delivery, making it the perfect cable for your power banks. The last cable I opened was the One Punch customized cable. This cable allows you to express yourself with color combinations inspired by your favorite anime characters. Made from durable silicon with a charging power of 100 watts, this cable will be up to the task. Chubby Cable sent these cables over to me to showcase for you. Now it's your turn to try it for yourself. Use the code TWB10 to get yourself 10% off your very own Chubby Cable using the link in the description. Thank you to Chubby Cable for sponsoring this video. Entertainment purposes. Now, I've left this to the end because there's not as big a chunk. However, it's kind of weird that I'm not talking about it as much as productivity because this is ultimately what probably 90% of people use their tablets for. And I'm no exception. I absolutely smash this thing when it comes to multimedia because it's got such a brilliant display. And even though it's got that notch, even though it has that notch, I do not mind it. And a lot of that's down to the fact it's a 16:10 aspect ratio. So none of the content I view actually gets intruded by that notch that's in the way. And it's weird. I haven't even talked about the 2 cameras that are in there. Because, yeah, people know what video calling looks like. I could show you video calling if you want. There, you happy? You saw some video calling. Auto framing, all that stuff, really good quality. Let's move on. The thing I don't really get to do is test the speakers. And a lot of the reason is because when I am watching stuff on this display, it's usually when someone else is watching the TV. And they're the ones that take priority because they're watching a show. I'm watching football. And football, you don't need the commentary or the crowd noise to really understand what's going on. It would be nice though, the amount of times I've had to celebrate silently when Newcastle banged one in, Callum Wilson's wheeling away, and I just have to... Yeah. So at home, around the house, it's a really good multimedia machine, especially with that case that I've got. I detach the keyboard, like I said, and I move it around. Where this really comes in handy is entertainment while traveling. Because of its, I guess, portability and because of its Samsung DeX capability, if you have a hotel room or a room that you're staying in that you can plug this into, you will get yourself an incredible entertainment machine. Because DeX exists, you can plug it in and DeX can be on the big screen. On the tablet screen, you can have something else running entirely, so they can run independent of each other. And that's where I would really push this thing, is as an entertainment package when traveling, you are unrivaled. You will not find a better display, you will not find a better case than this one to support both productivity and entertainment. The thing I found is the display is better than most high-end TVs, and it'll comfortably account for any hotel TV that you witness in your stride. So you've got that beat either way. There's honestly a lot more I could probably say, but this review is long enough as it is. So I'll leave you with this. With the Tab S9 Ultra just around the corner, is now a good time to grab the Tab S8 Ultra? I would say yes. Here's the kicker though. If you are someone who needs that little bit extra power from the Tab S9 Ultra, and likely the water resistance that is spoken about in all the leaks, then the Tab S9 Ultra could be the device you have been waiting for. However, if everything I've just spoken about is what you're looking to do, or thereabouts, like some productivity, some entertainment, and you need something with a big screen and a long-lasting battery, this is perfect. Because of everything that it is capable of, and the big screen, and the fact that it's going to get software updates still for a little while yet, you will not be disappointed with what this offers you. That's it for this week. It's been fun exploring my time with the Tab S8 Ultra. It wasn't hard to write things. It was just, as I was coming up with the ideas for this review, I was really surprised by how much I've actually used it. I never really saw myself as a tablet user, but I've actually integrated this into my life, and now I can't see myself without one. So very happy I went and took the plunge 18 months ago and bought it. And I think that's definitely set me up to be a tablet user for a long time to come. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you are enjoying what I'm doing, there's a few things you can do. One is like this video. I wouldn't ask you if I didn't appreciate it. And two, subscribe, because there's lots more videos like this coming, especially with launch season just around the corner. And of course, I have a catalog of videos now that you can go back, binge on, and enjoy if you want to get the most out of your Samsung experience. Between now and my next video though, you can come hang out with me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next week. You!